Ma'am, can you
Okay,
turn
fine.
the,
So start. Yes.
ma'am, can you turn the waiting room on wherein you can like manually allow people inside instead of joining with the link? Because yesterday we had a outside person in one class, so like that creates a bit of nuisance.
No, we can't do that. Let me see. Let me check. Tejas, once again, you logged in as a guest. We will check into this. Okay, we'll check into this and we'll sort out the issue. Kindly, email us your email ID. It's only for Tejas. Tejas,
Okay,
please
ma'am.
just email your learner email ID. Okay, we'll
Yes,
just
ma'am.
cross verify. Okay, fine. Okay, so let us start today's class. Is my screen visible?
Oh yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for confirming. Now I want one of you to tell me what is this diagram. Anybody?
Dryness fraction graph.
Ma'am, this is continuing after dryness fraction, right?
Yeah, just tell me what this graph is.
Ma'am, the graph of dryness fraction, right? Like it goes
Ma'am,
up.
No.
the
No,
graph of
ma'am.
formation of
Dryness
steam.
fraction is
What is
only
converting to steam?
applicable between B and C.
Okay. So what is
Ma'am, it
this
shows
graph?
us the formation of steam.
Formation
It's
of
the
steam.
temperature enthalpy graph for water.
Okay. For what? Yeah, I
For
know that.
steam.
Temperature.
For
For
different states of water.
for different states of water. Only water.
No, ma'am, I mean the water thing, different states, like it starts from zero and then goes up, forms steam, and then like that.
Someone told it's a then temperature enthalpy graph for the formation of steam from unsaturated water. Okay, right. So when you conduct that entire experiment, you take unsaturated water at 0 degrees Celsius, assuming the mass to be, or let we keep the mass as 1 kg, and if we start adding heat to that water without changing the pressure, okay, so then we get this pH plot. Okay, right. Now tell me what is there at A. Anybody? We are doing a
Unsaturated water.
Unsaturated water.
yeah, we are
Unsaturated
doing
water.
we are doing a recap of previous class. So we have unsaturated water here at what temperature?
0 degrees Celsius.
0
Zero.
degrees.
Zero, ma'am.
Yes, it's at 0 degree Celsius. So unsaturated water, mass 1 kg, temperature 0 degree Celsius. Okay, next what will happen?
As temperature goes up, the temperature of water will rise and it reaches B, which is the boiling point.
Okay, which is a boiling point. Boiling point is also called as
Saturation temperature.
saturation temperature, right? So if I have my point here, okay, what is the state of that substance?
Unsaturated water.
Unsaturated.
What will repeat? It is unsaturated water at a temperature higher than 0 degrees Celsius, but below the saturation temperature. If I have my point here,
Unsaturated water.
again, you have to be clear. Unsaturated water at the given pressure at a temperature higher than 0 degrees Celsius, but lower than the saturation temperature. Okay. Now, here, what is
Saturated
that?
water at
Okay.
saturation temperature at the given pressure.
Yes. So that is the complete definition. At the given pressure, this point B represents the saturated water at the saturation temperature. Okay. Next, what will happen? We go on adding heat. What is happening?
The
Vaporization.
saturated water will start changing into steam, ma'am.
Okay, to change phase. Okay, is the temperature changing? Even
No,
though we are
ma'am.
adding
No.
heat. No, till where it will now this phenomena continue?
Till all the
Till
water in
all
the
the water
container will
vaporizes.
become steam.
Converted into steam.
all the liquid phase is converted into vapor phase. Okay, so till here we have evaporation and then complete vaporization at C. Okay, so C represents what?
Dry steam.
Dry. Yeah, dry.
Dry steam at
saturation
saturation temperature
at
at a
the
given
given
pressure.
pressure. Okay, so we have dry
Okay.
saturated steam or simply dry steam, or you can also call it as saturated steam. Okay, so at C we have. So if I have my point here, what do I have?
Ma'am,
steam.
saturated water.
Wet
Can you all
steam.
like see the pointer clearly? Laser pointer, red dot.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
now-
ma'am.
Okay, I'm keeping it here. Someone told water.
Mixture,
Yes.
ma'am. Mixture.
Water plus steam.
You would never have only water here. It is a mixture. So whatever you have, you take these 2 points. It is a mixture of water as well as steam. Okay. If my point is here, how much is water and how much is vapor?
Ma'am,
Just
More
water
water,
is
less vapor.
more water and less vapor.
more water, less vapor. Okay. Exactly in the middle.
Equal
Same
proportions of water and vapor.
Equal proportions of water and vapor. Yes. If I have my point here,
More steam and
More
less
vapor.
water, more steam.
More vapor and less
vapor,
water, ma'am.
less water. Okay. Now, when I say more water, less vapor, more vapor, less water, what am I actually dealing with?
Ma'am, dryness
Dryness
fraction.
I'm actually referring to the quality of the steam, which is defined by dryness fraction. Okay, X. Okay, so at B we say X is 0, at C we say X is 1. Okay, do we have X here on this line?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Why? Why?
Ma'am, because there is no steam. Because there is no steam, ma'am.
There is no steam at all. So then the X never comes into picture here. Okay. Here afterwards, after C, what is happening?
There is no water.
There is no water exactly. But what is happening?
becomes superheated
There is change
steam.
in this line. Yes. The temperature of that steam goes on increasing till the desired level. Okay. So at D,
Highly saturated dry steam.
at D,
Superheated steam.
saturated steam is only at C. If I pass this saturation temperature, I cannot use the term saturated anywhere. This is the saturation level. Okay, so beyond this, there is no, here it's unsaturated only, but here it is superheated steam. Okay, beyond C, if I move beyond C, the steam that I get is superheated. Okay, right? Someone told it is highly saturated dry steam. Please don't use that term. It is superheated steam. Saturation ends here itself. We will never use highly saturated, nothing. Either it is saturated or not. Okay, if it is saturated, it is at C. If it is not saturated, either it will be here or here. If it is here, we say it is superheated. If it is here, we say it is wet steam. Clear with this? Any doubts? No. Okay. Now, my question is, do we have X here?
No, ma'am.
We have steam though. We have steam though. Someone told here we don't use X because there is no steam at all. Here we have steam. Can't we use X?
To 1.
Water.
Ma'am, X cannot be greater than 1
Why?
And there is no water.
because it is not
yeah,
saturated, ma'am.
Who told you it's not saturated?
Ma'am, the mass of the dry
About
steam will never exceed the total mass of whatever we mentioned.
Someone
right?
told there is no
Ma'am,
wet
there is no
water
water.
content. There is no water content in it. So it is what? Fraction of, it's a fraction which tells me how much moisture is there, how much dry steam is there within that mixture. Yes, So now here there is no moisture content at all in the steam. So whatever steam is there is superheated. So X is there between B and C only. Okay, there is no X here because we don't have any steam here. There is no X here because there is no moisture content within the steam. Clear? Anybody wants me to repeat anything here? Please let me know, because this is very, very, very important.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Repeat just the last part.
Which one? This one? Okay. See, what happens beyond C is, you see there is increase in temperature. At this point, there is a different temperature. At this point, if I come, there's a different. Yeah, I'm just changing the temperature. It's gaining heat. The steam is gaining heat. Yes.
Ma'am, how do they ask the question in exam?
In the sense?
No, in exam, how do they ask the question for this?
Explain the formation of steam at a given pressure.
So we should draw this diagram.
Yeah, of course. Without this diagram, your explanation is incomplete. You need to start with A, proceed till B, then again go on explaining till C, and then move up to D. You have to. Okay, right. So someone asked me the last part now. So here till C, what I have at C, I have completely dry saturated steam. Beyond that, if I heat the steam, what happens? The temperature changes now. It's now not isothermal now. It's not constant. The temperature changes. It is increasing. The temperature of the steam is increasing, and hence the steam becomes superheated now. It will not be saturated steam. It will be converted to superheated steam. So you can superheat the steam to any required higher temperature. Okay, understood? Anything else you want me to clarify?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
When they will start giving the assignment?
I will let you know, ma'am. We will all share the schedule, everything. Okay, don't get worried. We will share the notes also. We'll share everything with you. Okay. I'm asking you anything else regarding the TH plot. Any explanations needed? Any doubts? I'll give you a minute. Just closely observe the TH plot. Once again, recap in your minds what are the state points, and then if you have any doubt, if you come across any doubt, please let me know.
Ma'am, do we just refer to this graph as TH graph showing the
Yes.
variation?
Yes, it is TH, capital T, small h. We generally use specific enthalpy. If we say, if I use small h, it denotes specific enthalpy. Specific means it is enthalpy is kilojoules per kg. Mass remains 1 kg only. So since I'm telling you that constantly it's 1 kg, it is kilojoules per kg, the unit of enthalpy. That's why this enthalpy is called as specific enthalpy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so then I'll move on. I'll now introduce you to critical temperature and pressure. Now we started our experiment at pressure P1. Okay, so this is the constant pressure line that I get, iso bar. Okay, it's called as iso bar. Now if I conduct the same experiment at a higher pressure, what will happen? I'll end up with this iso bar now. Okay, I'll now conduct the experiment at still more higher pressure. So this is, what are you observing?
Ma'am.
The isobar becoming short, ma'am. The constant pressure line, horizontal line becomes shorter as
what is this
latent heat of vaporization is reducing.
Yeah, this part, so this the heat that is required to raise the temperature of unsaturated water to its saturation temperature. So this is what this is called a sensible heat. Whereas this part, the heat used to convert saturated water to saturated steam at a constant pressure is called as yes.
Ma'am.
Yes.
How do they ask the question for this?
For what?
Exam hall, how do they ask the question for this?
I will let you know. Okay, just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Observe carefully what is being taught in the class. Okay, don't worry about how to answer the question. If you are clear with the concept, let them ask question in whatever way you will be able to answer. Okay, got it? Understood? Okay. Now, what are you seeing here? This is the latent heat. What is happening to latent heat?
It is reducing.
Decreasing.
It is reducing.
Decreasing.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now, what does this latent heat represent?
Amount of energy required for the conversion of phase.
Yeah, means this part represents what? This part represents the mixture part.
Ma'am, temperature is constant.
Exactly. Temperature is constant, and I have a mixture here. Okay, right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Still more higher pressure. See how much reduction is there in the latent heat. Okay. Now this is depicting what? I have unsaturated water at 0 degrees Celsius. I will start heating. With this much amount of heat I have added. Now here I have converted unsaturated water to saturated water at its saturation temperature. Once again I start to heat. Now this heat is there, no? You're simply heating this. There is no change in the temperature. When you are adding the heat, you should increase the temperature. But here the temperature is not at all increasing, right? The entire heat that is added to the system is utilized only for phase conversion. Okay. Now say if you are in a thermal power plant as an engineer, you want to burn coal unnecessarily only to simply convert your state.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is it not wasting more of coal? See here.
It is.
How much energy I am wasting only to ensure I want my steam to be superheated in my thermal power plant, because I cannot use any steam below superheated or below the saturation. So I'll ensure that I always use superheated steam in my thermal power plant. If you are an engineer, see this line. If you are boiling your water at pressure 1, if your boiler pressure is P1, how much energy you are consuming only for the conversion of the phase? Here you see slightly you increase your pressure. Then you slightly increase the pressure. Amount of energy, see this one is reducing. So what you want ideally, your boilers to operate at higher pressure or lower pressure? If I want
Higher
quickly,
Higher pressure.
I want to quickly generate steam, means it has to be at higher pressure. Exactly. Right? Fine. Yes.
About like it's not included in the graph as it is, like we're applying an external pressure and increasing the temperature and enthalpy efficiency.
You have to conduct your experiment at certain pressure, right? If you are conducting in the experiment in the room, there is atmospheric pressure.
Okay.
Exactly, right? Pressure is there. Though yes, you can also use the pressure volume graph also. There are many type of graphs where you can plot this entire experiment of formation of steam. There is PV diagram, pressure volume diagram also. But we are using temperature enthalpy for you. Okay. Right. Now what I do, I will join. I know that these are the saturated water points. So I will join all the saturated water points from a line. Then similarly, I will also join all the saturated vapor lines. So if I go on doing this, and if I keep on increasing the pressure, at one pressure, these two lines meet, and there is a formation of a dome. So this dome is called as vapor dome. Okay. Anything left of this line, this dome is liquid. Anything right of this is completely vapor. In between the vapor dome, we have two-phase mixture. It's both water as well as vapor. Okay. On this point, I have saturated water. On this line, exactly on this point, I have saturated steam. Okay. See, beyond certain pressure, there is no latent heat required. There is, see what you see, my water is getting directly converted to vapor. It's directly vaporizing. There is no latent heat part. Okay, so this point where these two meet is called as critical point. Okay, it is represented by C. This line, this isobar is called as.
Could you explain?
Yes. Tell, repeat.
What did this line signify? I didn't get it.
Your voice is breaking. You want me to repeat this critical point?
Yes, on the PC line, what does that mean?
This is, see, again, all these are pressure only. This is the isobar. At a higher pressure, I don't have my latent heat. Okay. This pressure is called as critical pressure. Okay. This point is called as critical point. Okay. And the temperature corresponding to the critical point is the critical temperature. Okay. Generally, in all your modern day thermal power plants, the boilers operate at pressure at or above the critical pressure.
Ma'am,
Yes.
sorry ma'am. Critical temperature is the temperature after which it has absorbed all the latent heat and then it is converting into steam.
Directly, there is no formation, there is no wet and dry phase. There is no mixture here. Directly, as at this pressure, if you are heating, at the critical pressure you are heating from water, if at certain critical temperature, if it is critical temperature is reached, directly the entire water is converted to steam.
Steam, yes ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is experimental or there is some theory behind it?
It's experimental only. If you conduct this experiment, you get this.
Okay, ma'am.
I didn't get your question exactly.
Ma'am, I'm asking, like, is there any theory like how molecules behave in that pressure and all that stuff?
See, thermodynamics can be studied from molecular level or at a macroscopic level, microscopic level or macroscopic level. When you do study thermodynamics at a macroscopic level, you see the only visible parameters, which are change in pressure, change in temperature and all. If you study thermodynamics at microscopic level, you actually see how the atoms and molecules behave within the system. Okay, there is a relationship between how the atoms and molecules behave. Exact. That is microscopic. You can view it both the ways. Microscopic also you can study, macroscopic also you can study. What we are presenting here is macroscopic study.
Yes.
Okay, got it?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Right. So at a particular pressure, water is directly converted into dry steam without going through the phase of or this evaporation or the vaporization phase. So directly it will be converted into dry steam. Okay, so this point is called as critical point. For water, critical pressure is 221.2 bars and critical temperature is 374.15 degrees Celsius. So from the experiments that are conducted on the water, these values are arrived at. Okay, any doubts? Anybody's having any doubt here?
Ma'am, one doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, so if I keep, so ma'am, if the temperature is critical but the pressure is not at critical pressure, then ma'am?
It's not possible at all. When you are saying it's critical temperature, you are operating your boiler at that pressure only.
Okay, ma'am.
Boiling will not happen at and above critical point. So at the critical point, only one phase exists.
Ma'am, is the temperature in Celsius or Kelvin? Because 374 is very high, na?
Degree Celsius, it has to be. if you take 1 bar atmospheric pressure, water boils at 100 degrees. Saturation temperature is here, 100 degrees Celsius.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, but aren't
Ma'am.
we wasting energy when we have to maintain the temperature also at a very high level?
Of course you have. But the time that is, not the energy that is, energy saving that you get here is more. You are investing and you are operating at that critical pressure, yes, of course. But then the very quick generation of steam is there. My steam generation is not stopped in any case. And in that case, what I'm getting is, I'm getting continuous supply of steam. My steam turbines will not stop any moment, and there is, we ensure that the power generation is relentlessly happening as far as the boiler is fired. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
I didn't understand the statement. Like boiling will not happen at and above critical point, but to take it to the critical point, you have to boil the water.
Yes. Beyond that, there is no boiling, means there is no conversion, there is no wet steam formation at all. Directly, I have superheated steam.
Ma'am, but to bring it to the superheated
Yes,
steam,
yes,
right?
yes,
So why
yes,
boiling will not
yes,
happen at and above critical point?
yes. At this point, we are talking at this point. Beyond that, no. You have to. You have to raise the temperature.
You would still have to boil that wet steam. Is that what they're trying to say?
It's not wet steam here. See, that is what I'm once again making you clear, and that's why I'm telling you. Any phase here. So this is completely liquid. There is no steam here.
Okay.
Yeah, be very, very clear with this. If I am telling this line, this part of the vapor dome, the left hand part of the vapor dome, I have only water. Okay. And at this point, I have saturated water. And here I have saturated vapor. And here in this part, right hand side of the vapor dome, I have completely only one phase, which is vapor. But I have a mixture in between, or between this vapor dome, I have mixture, both liquid as well as vapor. When you are operating your boilers at critical pressure, what will happen? Unsaturated feed water, we call it as feed water. Feed water is the water that is coming into the boiler from the condenser. So unsaturated feed water enters the boiler. Heat is added to that unsaturated water till the critical temperature, and at critical temperature there is directly conversion to the vapor phase. The entire liquid gets converted to vapor phase.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
I think there are some questions in the chat also. Some people want you to look at it.
Please raise your doubts so that I can answer, because I cannot type here. Anybody is having any doubt?
And
please
some
let
people
me.
might not have a mic, so they put it in the chat, I think.
Then I think we will address to it later. Please email us your doubts. I will reply to the email. Okay, right now I cannot do it because I am in presentation mode. I cannot change my window. It's like this. Okay. Anybody is having any doubt who cannot raise their doubts here but still have the doubt, you're free to email your doubt to us. I will reply back. Done?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, at sea, which phase exists?
There is only one phase. Either it is water or vapor.
So at the point C is what is it? Water or vapor?
At sea, it's vapor only.
Okay.
Ma'am, this is for only one kilogram. The PC and TC we have got is only for 1 kilogram, but it's applicable for any amount of water.
Repeat your question once again.
Ma'am, the PC and TC we've got, the temperature and the pressure is for only 1 kilogram of water, or applicable always?
When you take mass into consideration, okay, there will be per kg. Here, there is no per kg. It is for any amount for water. Okay.
Ma'am, these various curves that we see are like the diagrams of various beakers that were taken in the experiment, right? Like of different samples.
Have we taken different samples anywhere?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, we don't need to go so back. Ma'am, just the curve that you were explaining.
You're talking of this, no?
No. I'm just talking about the critical temperature curve that you were teaching, right? Like here, critical temperature and it goes up thing. The latest graph, ma'am. The latest graph that we were seeing.
Just a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This thing. Ma'am, here we have lines, right? P1, P2, P3. Like, are these the readings of different samples used in the experiment, or like what are how did we get these different lines? That is what I'm asking.
Different pressures.
So the same thing heated in different pressures. These are the readings of that.
Let me explain it. If you
Yes, ma'am.
take water and you have conducted the experiment at atmospheric pressure, you have got this line P1. Okay. Formation of steam experiment. You have started with 1 kg of unsaturated water. You are adding heat to that unsaturated water. So unsaturated water is initially you're boiling that at pressure P1, which is atmospheric pressure. I'm just giving you an example. If you are doing this at pressure P1, the experiment, okay, you will end up with saturated water. Finally, once again, you go on adding heat till the entire saturated water converts into saturated steam. Once again, you add heat to saturated steam, you will get superheated steam. So this is the experiment conducted at pressure P1. If the same experiment is conducted on water itself, I'm not taking any different substance here.
Yes,
on water itself, if you conduct that experiment at a higher pressure, say P2 now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you will end up with this isobar. Okay.
Yes,
Same
ma'am.
experiment you conduct at another higher pressure P3. You will end up with this isobar.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Someone talked about this, whether it is related with the amount. Okay. There is something called as intensive property, extensive property. I think you have studied about them in your thermodynamics.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes,
So
yes.
yes. What are those intensive?
Depending
Is
on mass
temperature
and not
and
depending on mass or amount.
temperature is intensive or extensive? It's independent of mass, intensive property.
Yes, ma'am. Intensive.
Pressure is independent of mass, intensive property. Right? You take any amount of water, the critical pressure and critical temperature for that, be it 1 kg, 100 kg, 1000 kg. My critical pressure and temperature for water is, or it will remain this same, 221.2 bar, 374.15 degrees Celsius. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Anything else? We move on then? Okay, right. Now I want everybody to note these equations down along with the heading. Okay, this is very, very important. Without these equations, you cannot solve the numerical. Okay. Now, when we are adding heat, something called as enthalpy comes into picture. Okay, what is that enthalpy?
Measure of
Studied about.
energy in
What
water.
is that? Yeah, tell me, what is enthalpy?
Measure of heat content.
Measure of heat content of the system. Yeah, measure of heat content of the system. That is in simple terms. Okay, simple terms. If you want to remember, it's the measure of heat content. So if I'm adding heat, I will study about this enthalpy. Okay. Now, starting with the first enthalpy in my experiment, what I'm doing, I'm adding heat to unsaturated water. So unsaturated water is gaining heat. So I have enthalpy of unsaturated water. Okay. So what is enthalpy of unsaturated water? Now, can you define this? Anybody?
Ma'am, amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of water, something like that.
Okay. 1 kg of water? Complete it.
Ma'am, from 0 degrees Celsius.
Right.
0 degrees Celsius to?
Its saturation point at the given pressure.
No, it's not saturation point. When it reaches saturation point, it becomes saturated water. I am not using saturated here, it's unsaturated water only.
From 0 degrees Celsius to saturated temperature?
No.
To maintain it below
No, ma'am,
saturation
any temperature below saturation temperature. Any temperature below.
Yes,
Saturation.
exactly right. So it is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water from 0 degrees Celsius to its actual temperature, which is below its saturation temperature. So that is what is enthalpy of unsaturated water. Enthalpy of unsaturated water can be calculated at this point, this point, this point, any point between this A and B. Okay, clear with this? So any heat addition is given by H equal to mc delta T. Okay, so H, I am using a suffix W here. It is suffix actually. H suffix W. Since I am using small h, it is specific enthalpy. To be very precise, this is specific enthalpy of unsaturated water. That's why I am using per kg here. So specific enthalpy of unsaturated water is given by H suffix W equal to mass of water that I have multiplied by specific heat of water multiplied by temperature difference. So if I have my water here at this temperature, it's a given temperature of water minus 0 degrees Celsius. Got it? Specific heat of water is a constant. You have to remember this. It is 4.187 kilojoule per kg Kelvin.
Ma'am, shouldn't temperature be in Kelvin then?
This is a difference. You
Oh yeah.
Put your temperature in Kelvin or degree Celsius, doesn't make any difference. Clear? Any doubts?
TW is what? Temperature of feed water.
Temperature of feed water. See, generally when we use this term feed water, when we are solving problems on boilers. In a thermal power plant, what happens? In the boiler, we boil the water, steam is generated, that steam is made to impinge onto the turbine, and the condensate is collected and cooled in the condenser. The water that is there in the condenser is once again fed back to the boiler. We are recirculating it. That's why the water entering the boiler is called as feed water. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you made a note of this?
Yes, ma'am.
2 minutes, ma'am. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Ma'am,
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Could you repeat the definition of enthalpy of unsaturated water? Like it is the amount of heat required to?
Tell me what are we doing here? What are we doing here actually? We are changing the temperature, means raising the temperature, right? Temperature is changing, right? At all these points?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So amount of heat required to what? Raise the temperature.
Temperature.
Of what? You are raising the temperature of? At this point, what do we have?
Would it be the superheated steam? No, right? Hello?
Yes. At this point, what do we have?
Ma'am, are you pointing at the A one or the C one?
You're seeing the laser pointer here, red color?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What is this?
The A point, right? That's the enthalpy of saturated water, right? So that's the unsaturated water.
No, I'm just telling you, what do I have at this point? Enthalpy comes into picture when I add heat to it. What do I have here at A?
Ma'am, we have ice.
Ice, yeah.
Is it?
Unsaturated water, ma'am. 100% water.
Yes. Unsaturated water at 100 degrees. Ice is somewhere below. Right? Ice after melting has converted into water here. Okay, so here we have unsaturated water at 0 degree Celsius. Got it? At point A, I have unsaturated water at 0 degree Celsius. I will go on adding heat to that unsaturated water. Okay, right? So enthalpy of unsaturated water is when I'm adding heat to it, the enthalpy of unsaturated water is also changing. So what is enthalpy of unsaturated water? Enthalpy of unsaturated water is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water from 0 degree Celsius to its actual temperature, any given temperature here. Okay, so to its actual temperature, which is below the saturation temperature. Got it? Got it?
Ma'am, what is the significance of this value?
What is the significance of this value? If you are adding heat, how much heat is absorbed by that should be known.
Ma'am, don't we directly need to know how much heat we need to change to unsaturated to saturated rather than seeing some value in between?
Even when you are solving the problems, you need to know when you are studying the properties of the water at this point also, you need to study the property of steam here also. You need to study the property of superheated steam here also. At various point, how is my substance behaving to know that you require everything.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Now
Thank
what
you,
will
ma'am.
happen? Yeah, this one. What is the significance of this? I will slightly explain here. You can understand. See, now you are an engineer in a thermal power plant. You are supposed to boil the water, convert it into steam, and generate superheated steam. Now, if I have my feed water at 10 degrees Celsius, if I have my feed water entering the boiler at 30 degrees Celsius, if I have my feed water entering at 50 degrees Celsius, what is the change? Assume that your boiler is operating at 1 atmospheric pressure. Say for example, if you have the feed water entering it, assume that this isobar is representing 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay. Now the feed water is entering the boiler at 20 degrees Celsius here. This is condition 1. Second condition, feed water entering the boiler at 50 degrees Celsius. Condition 2. Condition 3, feed water entering the boiler at 75 degrees Celsius.
So what is your question? Could you just mention?
Tell me, what is the difference? So I can very quickly reach this point B, right?
Yes,
If this
ma'am.
temperature is more.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, right. So enthalpies come into picture while we are doing the calculation for this condition. We will come to know when you are solving the problem very clearly. Okay, done. Copying this slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Second, enthalpy of saturated water. So this is also called as sensible heat. Okay. Now at this point I have B. Can anybody give me the definition? What do you mean by enthalpy of saturated water?
And that's the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg water from 0 degrees Celsius to the saturated temperature at a given constant pressure.
Yes, exactly right. Understood? So what is sensible heat? It is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius to its saturation temperature or the boiling point corresponding to the pressure that is applied. or at a given constant pressure. In any way, both are correct, right? So this is again heat added mc delta T. So HF suffix F represents water. Okay, H suffix F, so specific enthalpy of saturated water, is equal to mass of the water multiplied by specific heat of water multiplied by change in temperature. Saturation temperature minus, we have started this experiment assuming the water to be at 0 degrees Celsius. So Ts minus 0. So Ts is the saturation temperature.
Ma'am, my
Yes.
question is, how can we say both the first one, enthalpy of unsaturated water, as sensible heat, and this also as sensible heat? Because the
told that
point
as-
B was not included na,
No,
in the last one.
did we use sensible heat here?
Yes, ma'am, in the diagram it is written. Na.
What
Yeah.
HF is sensible heat, not HF.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
Noted it down.
1 minute now.
Okay. Do you need a 5-minute break? Please let me know. Do you need a 5-minute break?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this
Thank
slide
you.
will be there. We will join back in 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. So am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Is my screen visible properly?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So moving on. Next comes after I just a minute. So after I get my I have converted my unsaturated water to saturated water. If I continue my experiment, if I continue heating, what will happen? I'll get wet steam. Okay. So enthalpy of wet steam. So if I have heated my saturated water, I have my point here. There is some amount of heat that is absorbed by the system. So that is called as enthalpy of wet steam. Now here I have wet steam. So what is the, if I have to measure the enthalpy here, it is enthalpy of wet steam. Okay, what is enthalpy of wet steam now? Anybody?
The amount of energy required to convert 0 degrees Celsius of water to wet steam at
What type of water?
saturated water.
Okay.
To wet steam, to any quality of wet steam.
Any quality of wet steam. Okay, right? Now, according to this experiment here, this this formula here, H is given by
Should it be
HF.
unsaturated water?
Yes. I'm coming to it. Wait. So H is HF. So I'm starting my point from water at zero, unsaturated water at 0 degrees Celsius. So it is the amount of or the quantity of heat required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius into wet steam of a given quality. Here the quality varies throughout. So wet steam here is of a different quality. Wet steam here is of a different quality. Wet steam here is of a different quality. So if I have to find the enthalpy of wet steam here at this point which is blinking. So it is the amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius into wet steam of a given quality and at constant pressure. So it is equal to the sum of specific enthalpy of saturated water and latent heat of dry fraction of steam. So it is the dry fraction of steam within this mixture. So that is X into HFG. So this is the fraction. So X into HFG gives me the dry fraction of steam. So HF plus X into HFG will give me enthalpy of wet steam. Okay. The phase here is represented by H suffix Fg. It is a mixture of both liquid as well as gas. F is for liquid, G is for gas. Since we have a mixture, HFG. These are the terminologies which are used in your steam tables. That's why we are retaining the same terminologies. Any doubts here?
Could you repeat the definition once, please?
Okay, can you please construct the definition now? Looking at this.
Yes, ma'am. So
Looking
the
at this.
amount of heat required to convert the saturated water.
No. See, HF is what? Is this part, right? So it is starting from what?
Sensible heat, yeah.
So it is starting from what?
Water at 0 degree, unsaturated water.
Yeah, it is water at zero, unsaturated water at 0 degrees Celsius. So don't say it's saturated water, okay? So it is the amount of heat that is required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius into wet steam of a given quality, okay? Wet steam of a given quality at the constant pressure.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you repeat the definition one more time, please?
I would want you to construct the definition on your own with using this. What is HF denoting? It is the amount of heat. So I am starting my experiment here till here, right? If I want to find enthalpy of wet steam at this point, which is blinking on the screen. So the amount of heat that is required from this point to this point. Okay, it has been broken into two parts. One is HF, another is this part. Okay, so what is this part? It is X into HFG, because there is some quality here. So X into HFG will give me the quality of steam, the dryness fraction of the steam at this point. Sorry, the amount of dry steam at this point, and then this will give me the sensible heat. So enthalpy of wet steam may be defined as the quantity of heat which is required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius into wet steam of a given quality, of any given quality, and at the given constant pressure. Clear?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, but the wet steam part starts from B, right? So from A to B, it's only water. From B, you get the mixture of steam and water. So shouldn't the definition start from saturated water and not unsaturated?
I am constructing my definition looking at this formula which is given to me. If I have to calculate the enthalpy of wet steam, I am taking the reference as this point, starting point of the experiment.
Yes, ma'am, but it's enthalpy of wet steam, right? And from A to B, there is no steam.
But enthalpy of wet steam
If
would
you
already
want-
contain
if
the
you want
enthalpy of unsaturated water too now.
Yes. See, how much heat you have utilized, how much energy you have added to this system to take the point from A to here.
Okay, so we always start from A.
Yes, you have to start from A. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Any other doubts?
Ma'am, can you show me the previous one?
Previous slide.
Yeah, saturated water. Yeah, ma'am. Previous. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Done?
Thank you. Done.
Okay, fine. Next is enthalpy of dry saturated steam. Can anybody?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
It would be the amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius to dry steam at constant pressure.
Yes.
Or
exactly.
basically the sum of latent heat plus sensible heat.
Yes. Okay, so exactly right. So enthalpy of saturated steam here, exactly at this point, I will use the only suffix G is there for this specific enthalpy term, H suffix G. Okay, the reason is there is no mixture, there is no water content here. It is completely dry saturated steam. So it is the amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius into dry saturated steam at the given constant pressure. Please make note of this equation. Done?
Ma'am, it is amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius completely into dry steam.
Yes, dry saturated steam at, you have to complete the definition in full, at the given constant pressure. You are not changing the pressure throughout the experiment. Okay, now you have come across two heats here. One is sensible heat and another one is latent heat. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between these two?
Sensible heat is the energy required to convert unsaturated water at 0 degrees Celsius to saturated water, while latent heat is the energy required to convert saturated water at saturation temperature to completely into dry steam, both at constant pressure.
Okay, fine. Any other definitions? So generally what we say? Yes, yes.
Sensible heat only has water and liquid phase, whereas latent heat has dry, uh, wet steam. So it is both liquid and gaseous.
Yes. Okay. Right. Any other answers?
Ma'am, sensible heat is used to increase the temperature, whereas latent heat is used to change the phase of the.
Yes, yes. Okay, fine. Correct, exactly. So if you see here, sensible heat and latent heat, both are energy. The energy that is absorbed or released within the atmosphere. So the difference between these two is that sensible heat relates to change in temperature. You see, there is change in temperature. The temperature changes of the given system, but the system does not undergo a change in phase, or the substance does not undergo a change in phase. Whereas in latent heat, what is that? It relates to change in phase also, but there is no change in temperature. It only relates to change in phase. Got it? Okay. All the answers are correct. Have you done noting down this enthalpy equation?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Ma'am, done, ma'am.
Okay. Next one is enthalpy of superheated steam. Okay. So we are actually superheating our steam in this experiment. So we are required to know the enthalpy of superheated steam also. The enthalpy of superheated steam actually represents the quantity of heat which is required to convert 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius into superheated steam at the given constant pressure. Okay. So it is given by this formula. H suffix SUP represents superheated steam. The specific enthalpy of superheated steam equals HF, which is the sensible heat part, plus the latent heat part HFG, plus the amount of energy added to the saturated steam. Since we are using specific enthalpy, mass will be 1 only. So I have not used M term here. So MC delta T, in that M is equal to 1. So M is not given here. C of superheated steam, specific heat of superheated steam multiplied by the temperature difference. This is T super minus T saturation.
Ma'am, here T soup is not a fixed value, right? We can change
No.
it, right?
Yes, 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 yes. You can change it to any degree of superheat. You can go on heating it to any desired superheated temperature. You can increase based upon the type of application.
Ma'am, why does the specific heat reduce? Because,
Where?
ma'am, for superheated steam.
Where specific heat is reducing?
Oh, no, okay, ma'am. No, sorry. That was for water. Yes.
Okay. Generally, this specific heat of superheated steam is it varies between 2 to 2.3. We take it as 2.25 kilojoule per kg Kelvin for solving our problems.
Ma'am, but why is the specific heat of steam lower, ma'am?
Which one? Where? What value?
Ma'am, specific heat of superheated steam. Why is it lower than that of water?
What is CP, specific heat? How do you define specific heat?
Amount of heat to raise the temperature of 1 kg of substance by 1 degree Celsius at constant
At
pressure.
constant pressure. Okay, that is CP, specific heat at constant pressure. Now, the gaseous molecules are very free. They are bound. You can add heat to it very quickly. Right? So that's CP. The amount of heat that is required to add heat to that to raise that temperature is less. But whereas water, you need to break the bonds first. It's liquid. You need to break the bonds. So you need to add more amount of energy there. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, so this would be for any point above C, right?
Any point above C, yes, for superheated steam only. And superheated steam is there between C and D. Above C, anywhere above C is my superheated steam. If I am conducting this experiment and at 1 atmospheric pressure, so saturation temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. Even if I have 101 degrees Celsius, it is superheated only. The steam is superheated by 1 degree Celsius. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you noted it down? Yes.
Now, practically, with the water is not at 0 degrees Celsius. Why have we in all the examples taken it at? Is it just to simplify?
You can have water at 0 degrees Celsius. Who told you cannot have water at 0 degrees Celsius?
If an engineer is taking water in a boiler, it's better to take it at higher temperature.
Yes. But we assume this experiment to start at 0 degrees Celsius. That's why when I say enthalpy of can I go back to the previous slides if this is done?
Yes, ma'am.
If I take, say, enthalpy of unsaturated water, at this point, what is the energy content that is added to the water to raise it from 0 degrees Celsius to here? That is your enthalpy of unsaturated water. We have started our experiment at 0 degrees Celsius. So at 30 degrees Celsius, the water it's already having that energy content in it. What is that initial enthalpy of the water, the feed water that is entering into the boiler? In order to know that, you require enthalpy of unsaturated water. Got it?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. amount of superheat. Next one. This part what you see is the amount of superheat. Can anybody tell me the definition of amount of superheat? What is amount
The
of superheat?
amount of energy required to convert dry steam into superheated steam of required temperature at constant pressure.
Yes, right. No, don't call it as energy. Always use the term heat. Heat. So amount of heat required to raise the temperature of.
Ma'am, this is F, right?
Yes.
Amount of superheat. It is not D, ma'am. It is F. Serial number F, ma'am.
It's okay. We do that change. What is important is this, not this. Don't worry about this. Okay. So amount of superheat is the heat required to raise the temperature of dry saturated steam to a higher temperature at a given pressure. So higher superheated temperature at a given constant pressure. That is your AOS. Again, heat added mCp delta T. If you are using 1 kg, it will become per kg. So M is not there here. So C of the superheated steam multiplied by the temperature difference. So degree T super minus T saturation gives me the temperature difference. This is amount of superheat or enthalpy of superheat. Okay, anybody's having any doubt?
Ma'am, my doubt is that why isn't mass considered here?
The reason is your steam tables are given in terms of per kg. That's why. Whenever you are supplied with mass, you need to multiply this by M to keep your units in terms of kilojoules. That we will do when I'm solving the problem. Okay. Since your steam tables are specific enthalpy values, specific volume values that are there tabulated. So it is per kg what we consider. Okay, but generally if they say 2 kg of steam is there.
Yes, ma'am.
After doing your calculation,
mass, right? That was my question.
In the problem, if it is 2 kg of steam, then finally at the end, multiply your value here kilojoule per kg, multiply it by the mass, then your unit gets converted.
You want to add the mass because you are considering 1 kg of water, right?
Yes. We are considering this as 1 kg of water. That's why 1 kg is kept constant per kg.
Ma'am, so when defining AOS, we are saying 1 kg of steam, amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of dry saturated steam.
Yes. Then it will be per kg, or otherwise it's simply kilojoules. That's it. If you are not defining it by mass, but in this experiment it's 1 kg, so it is 1 kg of dry saturated steam. Any other doubts?
Can you explain again?
Which one? Which part do you want me to explain?
Full part.
Which one? Pardon?
Full part.
Amount of superheat you want me to explain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll explain amount of superheat. So it is what? It is the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of dry saturated steam to a higher superheated temperature at a given constant pressure. That is your amount of superheat. Okay, so the heat added is mCp delta T. M is not used here. The reason is M is equal to 1 kg. That's why your unit will be kilojoules per kg. C super is the specific heat of superheated steam. multiplied by the temperature difference here in this range. So if I'm calculating at D, this is my superheated temperature. T super minus the T saturation gives me the temperature difference. Got it?
Ma'am, I have a slightly different definition. Can you please confirm if it is fine? Amount of heat required to convert 1 kilogram of dry saturated steam into superheated steam of required temperature. Is that fine?
For required higher temperature. Okay, that's also correct. For required higher temperature, higher than its saturation temperature.
Convert is fine, right? You don't have to specifically raise the temperature.
If you say raise, convert, it doesn't make a difference, but raise is more apt here, to raise the temperature to a higher degree. To convert it into superheated steam. That is correct. To raise the temperature. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next, there is something called as degree of superheat. It is to the degree to which it is superheated. So this is just the difference between the superheated temperature and saturation temperature.
This should be G, right?
Which one?
This is not E, ma'am. This is
Oh,
G.
you please don't worry about this. Okay, the slides have been rearranged. That's why this is there. Don't worry about this. This doesn't carry any marks here. It will be E, F, G, A, B, C. Doesn't make a difference. What makes a difference is here, degree of superheat. Okay, right? So DOS. What is DOS? T super minus T saturation. I will change these things before uploading in the Teams. So this concept is clear. Degree of superheat understood? It is the degree to which the steam is superheated to. It's a measure of the change in temperature in degree Celsius. Any doubts specific to this? The TH plot, the formation of steam. Any doubts here?
No.
Oh, ma'am, can you just show the last slide for a second? Okay, never mind. It's there here also. Oh, yeah, ma'am, you can move on. Thank you.
Okay. Just a minute. The session I would. Yes, tell.
This session will continue in the next class or?
No, that's what. So I would like to end this session here because we will be introducing a new concept which requires a little bit of in-depth explanation. I cannot complete it in the given time. So I will take that topic in the next class, and in the next class we'll also be taking up the numericals. So for the next class, I will be sharing the steam tables, the soft copy of the steam tables in the Teams. You need to refer to the steam tables for the next class. You require a scientific calculator to calculate and put the values. That is compulsory. And ensure that you note down everything and you solve the problems in the next class. So scientific calculator is important. And if you can take a printout of the steam table, well and good. Or otherwise, you should be referring to the soft copy which will be shared on the team.
Okay,
It will be shared in the class files. Okay.
Ma'am, can you show the last slide for 2 minutes? The second last one.
This one?
No, after this one, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you see it clearly?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Any other doubts?
Exam calculator is allowed. Scientific.
Yes, it is. You must use the scientific calculators.
Simple calculator is not.
No. Please use scientific calculators, okay? To get accurate values. You are also allowed to use the calculator in the examination hall. So develop the habit of how to use the scientific calculators. Because we have seen mistakes happen while inputting the values into the calculator. So you require sufficient practice to use the calculator.